By now, everyone has seen Huda on the Call Her Daddy podcast. I'm just gonna go through the cliff notes here so you don't have to watch 2 hours of it. So they start off talking about her childhood, and she basically explains that, or alludes to that, her father was sexually abusive to her when she was a child, and she stopped talking to her dad at the age of 16. She did say that when she was abused by her dad, she did inform other people in her family about this, and no one believed her. She said some of them didn't believe her, so some of them did, and whatever the case was, and that she called her mum. Her mum was working three jobs. A single mum that works. Sorry, the mum was working three jobs, and basically she couldn't pick up Huda. Then obviously eventually she cut the dad off. She also mentions that she was bullied at school as well. Bullying was so bad that sorry, I'm looking at notes as well. So the bullying was so bad that she had thoughts of taking her own life as well. And then eventually she learned how to stick up for herself when she went to like a different school, or I think like high school, whatever the case was. She then mentioned as well that when she was at the school, or not even at the school, sorry, when she was in high school, whatever the case was, she also had eating disorder, and she had bulimia, where she'd be bulimia is basically when you're eating the food and you're throwing it back up, basically. Due to there was one girl that was in the school that she was friends with, but was also bullying her as well, and she was a model and stuff, so obviously some insecurities were coming about, so she was trying to become, not become a model, but like throw it up, because she was thinking, oh, she wants her body to look like her. Everyone's saying the other girl's body is tea, and she's worried about her own personal appearance. Also disclosed in the interview that she has ADHD, so she'll be rambling on. I have ADHD too, so I kind of relate to that as well. She also mentioned that she was doing Instacart as well, so she gets on to the point about her baby father now, because that is like, they go through different points. She mentions how the baby father cheated on her relentlessly multiple times, was lying about his location, and she'd basically be seeing like his location there and knowing that he's lying to her. So that she did Instacart. I think this was the final straw for her, was when she did Instacart with the daughter in the back, and it was very not in the back, sorry, but in the car with her. And obviously Instacart is very dangerous to do with a child or a minor, and how they were basically trying to find a place to live, and he never helped her move anything out of the house. It was just her and her daughter, and she said she had to be calling his friends to kind of get help and assistance to move, whereas he was just going out and about. Then obviously she said she put his stuff in storage for 2 weeks and said after 2 weeks it's up to you to sort that out, and basically moved on with her life. She said that she deserves better in regards to this. Also disclosed that when she was doing Instacart as well, that the baby father, she would give him the money, and I thought it's kind of weird. Said she gave him the money basically because obviously they would always be behind on rent, or they'd just make it in time in regards to paying bills and stuff. So she said that she gave him the money, and then he'd continuously still be late paying the rent. So what was he doing with the money then? No one knows. She also did briefly talk about being love bombed, and basically took no accountability for her own actions, and said that, oh yeah, she was being love bombed. But I'm thinking in my head, it takes two to tango in a sense, and she was definitely showing other signs to Jeremiah that we all saw play out on TV. Granted, they edit the show and stuff, but there was certain stuff that they were showing where you were moving mad as well. Do you know what I mean? Also, in regards to the Jeremiah thing, she was basically saying that other people were saying that she was being love bombed and stuff, and that's why it kind of drew her away, or she was kind of skeptical on certain stuff and whatever. But in my opinion, she has a voice. Just the way she was voicing it on the podcast, she could have voiced it there and said, oh yeah, I'm feeling this type of way, whatever else and stuff, or stood her ground, because she was standing her ground when it came to Jeremiah, when people were questioning her a lot in the villa, but all of a sudden, I just didn't want to say anything. It's giving Caparini. He also admitted liking Ace, and I feel like this plays a part in why her and Shelley have this. It's a one-sided beef, in my opinion. I don't think Shelley's beefing her. Huda is beefing Shelley secretly, but she said that she liked Ace. That's why she went to kiss him or whatever the case was and stuff. But obviously, I believe that wasn't reciprocated with Ace. On Ace's side, sorry. She also said that apparently Ace used to like her pictures back in the day, and he's now gone back to unlike her pictures. I don't believe that to be true, because obviously a lot of Huda fans were editing or changing some of the not items, but some of the information that they were posting out there as well. Like, so it's not really believable unless there's actual facts, and I guess we'll get to it at the reunion. During the interview, I think this was like 1 hour and 5 minutes in, it seemed like the person I was interviewing her, that she got tired of it and was like, Huda, are you going to take accountability for this, whatever? And Huda was like, yeah, I'm going to take accountability. And then starts taking accountability because she got called out by the podcaster. And it was like, you weren't going to take any accountability for, because she had an excuse for everything that occurred. I'm thinking you never once really took accountability, and if you did, it was like because you could see people were like getting annoyed with you as well. And she didn't take any accountability for how she talked to Jeremiah as well. She said, oh, when she called him the B word and all this other stuff, that it's basically tried to normalize it. And regardless if you say this in your real life or not, you have to have respect for people in order. I don't think you have to have respect in order to give respect, get respect for people, but it's like you should be respectful to everyone. And then she basically said that, oh, people are writing that in their group chats, what's the issue here? Because you're saying it to your person. No one's saying that you can't shit talk in your group chats. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're, saying this to someone person, it's rude, and you don't know the feeling that happens. Bear in mind, you've been bullied before, you've had people talk down to you, so you know the feeling of that. So why would you now want that for someone else? And obviously, from what we saw and what she's also said as well, he never talked to her that way either. So where's this coming from? Like, weird. He also claimed that everyone in the villa, including Shelley and whatever, didn't like her or didn't listen to her and stuff. And I'm thinking, you're a liar, or didn't care for her. I'm thinking you're a liar because literally they saved you twice. Twice over. They could have let you go. Your ass could have been at home and stuff. And on top of that as well, Alandria was literally the villa therapist. So what are you talking about? And bear in mind, even after you came out the show, Alandria and Nick are looking after you or calling you the adopted friend or whatever, or child or whatever and stuff. So obviously there is some love and care there. So I don't know why you're trying to lie, and weird behavior. So I want to note as well, Huda never once addressed her fan base in regards to the racial abuse and hate that Shelley and Alandria is getting. And she just basically skated past it. She acknowledged her fan base, but she never acknowledged what they're doing online. Because obviously, from what I'm seeing, she's reposting a lot of content that her fan base has put there, but she's intentionally ignoring the hate as well. Because obviously, when you see the love, you see the hate as well. So come on. Then the woman that was doing the podcast asked her, like, oh, why didn't you stand up for Amaya, basically, when the boys or the men were gang up on her at the fire pit. She said, well, oh, if I did, they would have basically, told me to shut up, or told me that, it's nothing to do with you. Why are you getting involved in you're lying. You're a liar. You're a liar, actress. I can see. Like, you're a liar. I don't know why you're even lying for, and you think someone's not going to believe what you're saying. You're moving mad because there's been multiple times where you interrupt or interject into people's conversations, but all of a sudden now it's an issue. But you've done more stuff even when the boys were around, for you can't even say it's based on intimidation, even though she didn't, but you know what I mean. Like, because the time she was in Jeremiah's conversation, she's like, F you, this, like that, calling him out his name, whatever else stuff. So all of a sudden now you can't speak up. Okay. Then she intentionally just mentioned Shelley as one of the... So basically, she started talking about Chris now and said that, oh, Chris was basically talking to other women, whatever else. But you could only mention Shelley's name. Though. Just it's like you wanted her to get more hate. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you wanted her to get more hate, or you're not making your point clear enough that you're trying to ostracize Shelley, because it's clear that you are. That's what you're doing. You're trying to ostracize her because you've never brought up anyone else's name in regards to that as well. You just said, oh, Shelley, he was talking to, and other people. Who are the other people? Because all we saw was him talking to Shelley. He wasn't talking to Alandria. He wasn't talking to Iris. He wasn't talking to Amaya. So who was it? So Huda tried to downplay the sexual intercourse with Chris. Said, oh, it wasn't barely in. It wasn't this, like that. And, it's not like it was big or anything for me to say, like, oh, it was that blah, 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 and whatever. But you're trying to downplay the sex now. But then when we cut to the clip of you coercive behavior that you were showing in regards to, like, oh, 3, 2, I'm gonna ruin your day tomorrow if you don't give me sex, basically, and whatever. That was weird. So it's like, I don't believe what she's saying in regards to the sexual thingy or whatever, because you're kind of crashing out over him because you were saying, oh, you want to have sex with him, but you don't want to have public PDA. And I get what you're trying to say. Well, oh, they were talking about how you and Jeremiah were, blah, whatever else stuff, but this is a new thing though. So why are you moving mad? So I want to make it abundantly clear, I don't agree with Chris telling her to shut up and all this other stuff and talking to her down, but I also don't agree with Huda doing the same thing. I'm not saying it's tit for tat in regards to, like, oh, I'm only saying this now, whatever, but both of them should not be talking to each other either way. Him telling her to shut up, her shouting at him as well and stuff and talking to him like a child. Now I want to talk about the racial abuse that Huda said that she got. She said that she was labelled a terrorist by people at her school and whatever else. And I'm thinking, if you relate to people being racially abused in regards to, like, where they're from and stuff like that, why did you not stand up to your fans about what they're saying about Shelley and Landry as well and stuff? And also, you're weaponizing your tears to black people, and it's like there's racial issue, there's racial stuff going on here. I don't know how to word it, whatever else and stuff. Maybe I can't articulate it properly, but like, you should have stood up to them, sorry, in regards to all of this. I believe that Huda will not call off her stands on purpose because she has a secret some secret animosity with Shelley as well, because Chris kept showing continuous interest in Shelley even after he coupled up with Huda as well, and even after she was brought back to the villa and Huda was trying to focus on Chris, because she even mentioned an interaction where Shelley and Chris were talking. She's walked down the stairs, Chris hasn't acknowledged her and she's wearing something maybe nice or whatever else and stuff, and he's just continued talking to Shelley like Huda doesn't exist.